No? Okay.
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
That card.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card.
Bum, bum, bum.
There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
Happy as a clam.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you.
Boom.
I've decided to tell you the truth.
Right.
The chance that Santa is
He
Zero
told
is
you.
very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
Fading to black.
I see. The morphogenetic
I
field in the
see.
experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada.
Nevada.
And the girl that died during the experiment. She
Who?
told you all that, did she?
No, who?
At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals. There were
Yeah,
4
we know
of
that.
them running the show.
Yeah.
Gentaro Hongo,
Yeah, that's Ace.
Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Hongo was the CEO
Yo,
of
look at
Cradle
young
Pharmaceuticals.
Ace.
Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research.
Yo,
and
that's the
development
9th man.
division.
Hello?
Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you.
Right.
Hongo
And that's
designed it,
Captain, and that's
Nijisaki
Mr.
put it all
X,
together.
and that's 9th man, and Guy X, and Ace.
Kubota developed the technology
Whoa.
required, and Musashido provided the cash.
Huh, so it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido...
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with the
Top
research.
secret.
All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to
10
research the
persons,
prospect of
10
controlling the
doors.
human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize?
Because it
Why
wanted
did the
to.
crystal structure
It
of
felt
EDT
empowered.
undergo a sudden change?
EDT rights
Why
are,
did the rats improve their
mineral
puzzle-solving
rights.
skills with each generation?
I don't know if EDT is a mineral.
Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the
It's a
answer to a
compound.
question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen?
Because we're on a flowchart, dude. See? Right, like that. That's how it can
The
happen.
answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
A
Can't bring yourself to
morphogenetic
believe it.
field theory.
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people,
Don't we have like 30 minutes until the boat
right?
explodes?
That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow,
lit.
the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding.
Mass
Mankind's
handstanding.
thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same
TLDR,
effect as
we're a
those
fucking
millions of
hive
people,
mind.
what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's
They could
no
make
way.
people floss on the max.
I'm not done.
On the train.
Imagine another scenario.
They're gonna make.
Imagine
They're
another
gonna get the
person.
biggest dab. The whole society
This is
will
an
dab.
ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then?
Lots of people would fall over because they
person
don't
who
have
has
the muscle
power
strength
write
to do a
the field,
handstand.
and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yo, Junpei is the receiver and Travenoid is the transmitter. Easy.
Close enough, at least.
Deep lore.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Interesting. I'm impressed.
Hell yeah.
Yes, that is exactly correct.
Smarty boy.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total.
All
For reasons that were
siblings,
not
huh?
fully understood at the time, each pair had one transmitter and one receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting.
So Group Q is transmitters?
They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert.
So that means Clover's the transmitter.
The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger.
Danger,
Have you ever been faced with
danger.
an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may
Oh,
seem
yeah.
obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course,
Just like
he hadn't
this.
forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life or death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q
Building
duplicated
Q.
the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Huh.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already!
Bony ass.
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here and soon.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Why?
Well, I
Hank
thought it was
Hill
only
looking
16.
ass.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
Right, then it'd be an octory game.
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was...
Tell me, goddammit!
Her name was Akane.
Oh, shit.
That was the girl who died.
Wait, what?
Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? Then, who is June?
What?
No. That's impossible. It can't be true. Akane isn't that uncommon of a name. If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It was someone else.
What a nothing burger, dude.
It has to be.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, all right? I couldn't do it. ask, what's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
F. Potential F. This is it. This is what the shadow picture is pointing to. But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture? Yes, I think we need to find the 5th volume. Well, good. Good thing I'm not a Dumbo. Or blind. There's a big red button behind this book. I guess we should press this. Boop. What was that sound? It sounded like something really big was moving. It came from the top floor. All right, let's go check it out. Ooh. We got 13, 14, 10, 13. Is this their Final Fantasy game rating? This looks like an output monitor. I bet the letters you type in on the keyboard will show up here. So that'd be D, E, A, D. Hexadecimal Roman numeral shenanigans. The keyboard doesn't have any number keys. You can't type stuff like 3 or 4. Then that means it's dead. Bet you gotta type something on the keyboard. Yeah. This is a space bar, sir. This is a space bar. Easy. Yay, you did it! It's unlocked now. Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good. So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got it to unlock, didn't we? Hey, Jenna, how's it going, friend? Let's go, hurry up. Wait, left or right? Right. All right, let's get this thing open. You found it.
All right, this is the next.
Oh, the door!
Did that just close on its own?
Don't tell me we can't go back.
I don't know. Let's see. Damn it.
If only we had a
It looks
screwdriver
like
to
it
shove
locks
in there.
automatically.
Is there any other way out?
Well,
This room
there's
is full of
another door
shit.
over on the right. There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well, yeah, that might work, but...
Hey! Wait a minute! Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Oh, man.
Look at all this shit. Hello?
Looks that way.
No way!
For real?
Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you prefer.
Okay.
I rather doubt that, however, so it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. All right then, let's begin.
Oh, it looks like both doors went into this room. Seek a way out. Shit, dude, I'm starting to get tired. Study.